Hey guys, Mike for Sim Racing 604, and say hello for the first time to the Oldbac Kalana 2023. This one is from IER Simulations, and it's a very fascinating mod. So you'd be excused for not having heard of Oldbac before. It's the idea, the concept, the prototype of an Estonian engineering firm who had the vision of making a car like this, which looks something like a Praga meets a Bugatti Chiron. Very interesting concept, but in principle, a Judd V8 engine, two-seater prototype car, under 1,000 kilograms body weight, and 2 tons of downforce at 250 kilometers per hour. And that's basically what they have achieved with this Oldbac Kalana. Now, one thing about testing cars, testing prototypes, is it's very expensive. So Oldbac enlisted IER Simulations to give them a working Assetto Corsa mod that they could do further testing on, with the greater vision of smashing the record at what we know as Auto 24 Ring. It's sometimes known by other names. They ran this and set the lap record at 109, but they have the vision of coming in under a minute. So as development continues with this goal, they are going to use this Assetto Corsa mod to keep improving the car and making changes to get them 9 seconds down and achieve their overall goal of a sub 1 minute lap of the Estonian track. Now, this one is named the Oldbac Kalana 2023, which makes me think as development continues on the real-world Oldbac, it wouldn't surprise me if IER Simulations reflects that in the Assetto Corsa mod when we get a 2024 version, but who knows. But yeah, mid-engine car, very interesting concept here. You'll notice design efficiencies like no side mirrors to increase drag. It's just cameras. You see that big snorkel at the top of the car, sucking air into that mid-mounted Judd V8 engine. It's just a very cool concept of a car, and we now have it in Assetto Corsa to test out. All right, so let's go ahead and get on track and do some testing. All right, so here we are in the pits on board the Oldbac, and we are going to do a few laps here at Silverstone. We'll get this thing warmed up first, then we'll start to open it up a bit, and you'll see exactly what this Judd V8 engine can do, and it is quite something. This is a heck of a car. So, initial impressions on driving it, it is absolutely phenomenal. I've done a number of installation laps thus far, and just gotten used to how it feels. And even among the excellent cars that IER has produced, and IER has not produced as many as, say, RSS or VRC, but what they have given us has been pure gold, frankly. And even among that crowd, this is a fantastic car. It is, of course, ultra rare. It's not, you're not going to have a lot of options to race it, etc. But just as a pure driving car, and you know, the sort of definition of prototype, I mean, this really comes through. It's just super fun to drive, very intuitive. You understand sort of the vision of not only the real-world Oldbac engineering crew, but also IER Simulations, what they were trying to put across with this car. And they have done a tremendous job with this, and it just feels fantastic. This is seriously one of my favorite cars that I've driven this year. It's growing on me more and more. Everywhere I take it out, you sort of understand the character that little bit more. And again, you kind of see the vision of the project the more you sort of get in tune with the car. And it is just a banger, absolute banger. Yeah, puts a huge smile on my face. It's just so much fun to drive, and again, so intuitive, so well produced in everything, in every facet rather, and yeah, just a joy to drive. All right, let's start to open up this Judd V8 engine. Let's listen to this engine wind out to about 11,000 RPM. As he comes into the slowest section of the track with no option to open up the engine. Here we go. So you can hear what 11,000 RPM sounds like on board this car. What a noise. What a noise. It sounds so good. Now, you'll notice me fighting it a little bit on corner exit. That is one of the few areas where this car, and by the way, this is not a critique of the Oldbac, nor is it a critique of IER Simulations, but it's the one place where this car becomes tricky to handle. Now, around something like this, it's a breeze. It's so stable and so confident coming through high-speed corners because of all that downforce. 2 tons of downforce was the goal of this project. I'm not sure if they actually reached it. And of course that's dependent on speed, yeah, high-speed corners is where it does its best work. Accelerating out of slow corners is where it's at its worst. The back end tends to get a little bit happy, so you just got to be mindful of that. It will fight back a little bit. You just got to back off the accelerator, try and get control of that wheel, and settle the car. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibilities to catch it. In fact, I don't think I've had a major slide in this car yet. It's just something to sort of be mindful of. So we're coming in at just over 2 minutes here. We're nowhere near the potential of this car. I'm sure in the right hands, this is a 1 minute 50-ish car here at Silverstone. I am more the 155 range, and we'll get there eventually. Again, there you saw me have to make that little correction there on the wheel. No DRS, interestingly. It would be nice to have the DRS in this car, but no such luck. And another thing this does extremely well, I mentioned high-speed corners, but braking. The brakes in this car, oh man. Like very few cars in my collection, frankly. It is just, you stomp on that brake and it just halts you. It's incredible how strong the brakes are. And interesting caliper configuration. The rear calipers are actually at the, if I'm not mistaken, very bottom of the rotors, which is interesting. Usually, I think most modern cars, if I'm not mistaken, have kind of gone with a, I don't know what you'd call it, inboard configuration. Basically, the front calipers are toward the center of the car, and the rear calipers are also toward the center of the car. So you end up with them basically as close as possible. I think that's a pretty common configuration. I could be wrong about that. But Oldbac went a different way and mounted their calipers at the bottom of the rear wheels. You can see the lap times starting to fall as I get more confident. The car gets some heat in the tires, and I'm just easing on that throttle. Try to keep things settled through these final corners. And there we go, 156. We can still do better. Corners like that is where you'll find speed, find time. Little lock on the brakes there. This thing does have ABS and traction control. Use it to your liking. But yeah, the combination of that sound and the excellent handling and the intuitive feedback and that little bit of personality in the slower speed corners just makes this one of the best driving cars in my collection, I believe, and certainly one of the best cars I've driven this year. Just absolutely fantastic. I think the range of use is somewhat limited. This was one of my critiques about the P13V as well, is that it's difficult to find contemporaries to race against, so it might be relegated to being a hot lapping car for you, which I do a lot of, so there's worse critiques to have from somebody like me, but again, just be warned that you're not going to find a lot of, or you're going to have to work harder rather, to find cars to race this Oldbac against. It's not like there's a field of Oldbacs that you can dig up to race against. Alright, nearly a full second ahead here. Hopefully I have made my point and you understand just how good this car is. IER Simulations, in my opinion, does not disappoint. I've yet to drive a bad car from them. Even the lesser known ones, which I think I will feature soon on this channel, because they made some mods a few years ago that don't really get much press. Like the Porsche America, there's a Daytona prototype Chevrolet, or what is it, a Coyote and a Dallara, maybe, I can't remember. Anyway, Chevy prototype, and yeah, these mods just don't get the respect they deserve, in my opinion. And those are from IER as well, so I want to do a feature on those fairly soon. I missed what that last lap was, but I imagine it was in the high 55s. Ooh, coming in a little bit hot there to that corner, but you see how fast those brakes get things under control. And in fact, I ended up coming out ahead on that. Whoa! There we go. So again, you just got to make sure that you are careful with your throttle coming out of slower corners. But you will get there. But again, sections like this, it's just so confident. It's like very few cars in my collection are this confident through a high-speed corner. Just seems to be able to take whatever you have to throw at it. Alright, I think I have sufficiently made my point. So I'm going to go ahead and cross the start-finish line. And then we will begin a full volume onboard lap here at Silverstone. See if we can set a personal best. But just, I just want to give you the opportunity to enjoy that Judd V8 sound, because it is fantastic. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we're into the low 155s, and again, in the right hands, this is a 1 minute 50 level car here at Silverstone. It is fantastic. I'm in love with it. IER Simulations rarely misses. I think they never miss, frankly. And this is among their best. This is huge, huge fun, and so cool to know that this is based on a real-world car and helping a real-world project achieve its dream. So very, very cool tie from the virtual world of motorsport to the real world. And couldn't be more excited to drive it here. High recommendation for me. And of course, what do you do when there's a cool new car for Assetto Corsa? You take it to Nordschleife. So let's do that now. All right. So what is possible here at the Nordschleife. Well, I just did an installation lap. Didn't manage to make it to the finish line, so I have no idea. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere around 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's see if we can beat that. Down into first gear. Difficult left there. Whoa, tough start here. Not off to a great run through this first sector. And one thing I did notice on my practice lap was that this car is quite nervous on the curbing here at Nordschleife. Those high, very rough curbs here, not doing the car any favors, so I'm going to mostly stay off of them. And look at that, or listen to that engine rather, propelling the car forward at incredible rates. 10,000 plus RPM. What a machine. Up at this 6th gear here, we're going to take this crest. Not this crest, this crest. Flat. Got you. Easy. Late braking because we can in this car. ...270-ish kilometers per hour. And down to one of the slowest corners on the circuit. So not even 2 minutes expired, so we're doing well. Little safety lift there. Very confident braking. Thing sure does get up to speed fast. It is very intimidating. And the level of performance of this car is just jaw-dropping. Feels so fast. It feels so confident. Come on. Let's go, baby. And I tried to brake a little bit later there. Got away with it. 3 minutes. We're going to probably hold 5th all the way up this hill. Come on. It's a bouncy girl, as you can see. Very stiff suspension. Helps out with even more with those high-speed corners. Flat, flat, flat. Could have come in a little bit later on the brakes there. Nothing too bad. Now this could be interesting because I think we'll make it through the carousel just fine despite the stiff suspension. I'm a little bit scared of this moment. No issues. No issues. Fantastic. And yeah, I think there's a lot of speed to be had in this car just from bravery on braking. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about the confidence when you go over a curb, though. It can be very difficult. The car just wants to bounce all over the place. That stiff suspension making it so hard. Again, 6 minutes 30 seconds would be the goal here, and I think I'm pretty much perfectly paced for that. Try and guess where I lost it last time. First or second gear here. I'm gonna go first. Oh, and I messed it up. Horrible second carousel there. So yeah, my prediction of 6:30 looks to be true. Go, baby, go. 260. Up the hill, holding fifth. Come on, girl. Holding fifth. So 270-ish, so nothing overly impressive on the Dottinger straight here. Time. 627. All right, there's a lot more speed in that car, obviously, but just massive, massive fun. I know you guys are going to like this. It's really, really well done. Well done to IER Simulations, Oldbac. Just finding out about it now, what an incredible project, and so happy I get to drive it here in AC. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.